Hello everyone and welcome back to HTR. Tier 1's drivers will be racing around the Circuit of Americas in what is round 9 of what is another exciting championship. Things are once again a little different tonight as it's just me again, Desertent, in the comms box. Sam's on holiday and once again we've got others reserving in this race. So you're going to have to put up with me again for another hour and a half. And the other thing that will be different will be our sprint race format. It's our second of the season, and it will see a one-shot qualifying session followed by a 10-lap sprint race. And then following that is a 28-lap main feature race to determine the winner of the American Grand Prix. So, yeah. But the one thing that is the number one sort of unique thing about tonight in HTR is and tonight's race is that we're paying our respects to Queen Elizabeth II, as after her passing last week, the drivers have been told to observe a minute's silence before things get underway tonight. So before the one-shot qualifying does take place, I think on the setup screen we'll be just observing a moment's reflection on such a great human being. Obviously, that was devastating news for the whole of United Kingdom last week, and yeah, obviously the country's all in mourning during this period. So just even as a racing league, we'd like to sort of pay tribute to what a great leader and human Queen Elizabeth II was. So we'll do that just before the cars head out onto the track for their qualifying. I think we're just waiting for the last of the drivers to enter the lobby, and then things will be counting down for the start of the events tonight. Yeah, so we'll just wait for everyone to enter the lobby, ready up, and let the counter count down. I got complimented, or I got a few compliments for last week's commentary on my own, so hopefully tonight goes just as well. But again, apologies to anyone watching this live or watching this after, wanting to see how they got on the stream. If I've missed any key moments or overtakes or crashes or spins, that's on me. So sorry about that. I'm still an amateur in this game, but hopefully a decent race to watch and report on tonight. Counter, as you see, is counting down, so just wait for that to get to 0 and load in. Kevin's making sure that everyone's doing what they're told and that the moment's pause and silence will begin. And it appears that Kevin's just called for a restart there. So apologies for that one. So I'll just wait for the message that Kev has restarted the lobby. But we all jumped the gun, and maybe a little bit itchy finger on the trigger. There we go. So I'll let Kev rebuild the lobby, let everyone rejoin. It gives me the perfect opportunity whilst that's happening to actually go through the standings, or the results from last week anyway. Yeah, so bear with me, let me just bring that up, because I've got short memory span that I can't even remember. Yes, it was Matthew, wasn't it, who won last week? Beat Positive because Positive picked up that 5-second penalty, which ended up being costly, really. Matthew just sat in behind and was quite happy to take second place on track to win the Grand Prix in Spain. And it was Tom who came home in third. Smiggy, Thallow, Armour King, Tundra, Basketball Dan, and Kevin Islater, Alex F1, rounding off the top 10. So yeah, the Spanish Grand Prix, decent in parts, eventful in parts, but also a bit of DRS trains as well, wasn't there? So bit of a mixed bag in that one. So I wonder if it will be any different tonight. But let's have a look at what that does then for the standings. So there we go. I almost gave you the wrong information then. So Positive still leads the championship, in fact. He's on 274 points. Obviously, HTR do their own scoring system, so it's really imperative to finish your races, and it also makes things really tight at the top. So Positive on 274, Matthew on 265, Fallow third in 236, and then Andrea 197, Armour King 168. So yeah, that's your top five, really. Biggest mover probably was Basketball Dan. He went up 5 places to reach the magical half century. 50 points takes him to 14th. So big shout out to him. And then in the constructors, it was Mercedes ending the day on 402, Ferrari on 383, McLaren going up to third, Alfa Romeo dropping 3, obviously after 2 DNFs on lap 1. So it was McLaren who jumped up, thanks to Sam reserving and Smiggy putting in a decent result. So they jumped up to third on 278, just ahead of Aston Martin on 272 and Williams on 264. So all to play for in these last 4 races, in the drivers and the constructors. We've been told to ready up, and as I say, there'll be a moment's silence in respect of Queen Elizabeth II. So if I go silent on comms, that's the cue to pay your respects to, as I said before, a very decent human being. and there we go. Impeccably observed, second time around anyway. But yeah, as I kind of said at the opening of this stream, we start with a one-shot quali here. The second sprint race format of the season for us. We've done it before actually around USA, and it's called Chaos in Tier 1 before. But we'll see what happens here. As the cameraman has stitched me up here with a camera view. So we've got actually Norton leading the way. What wings is he running, please? He's taken the first corner, not so bad, but it's Bicyc who's crept up into that leading position. Tier 2 drivers of 1 and 2. Everyone get a snap of that. I don't know if it will stay that way. There's a mistake from Norton there. Oh, and it is a mistake. He's gone round. So we'll be jumping off him. And it's Positive then, leading the way against Matthew. Those two resuming their battle. But Matthew's made a horrendous mistake. He's gone down to 13th. What's happened there? Oh, there he is, going slowly. Oh, music to the ears of Positive. But he's getting challenged by Tier 2 driver Bicyc. Tom is also up there, who put in a solid performance last week. So, as they go down the long straight. Oh, Positive. Thought he cut that too fine, but it's been allowed. And he's the one leading the way. Bicyc still second, Tom still third. And then 4th to 7th keeps swapping round. Kevin Annihilator still doing well. And 2 McLarens. Oh, but Creation's now dropped a little. As we're still on board with Positive, who leads the way. Tom and Tundra swapping places. Tundra's come up to second. There's going to be an all Mercedes front row. Oh, look at that. They turned it on last week in qualifying. They turned it on again. There's only 9,000 separating the two. It's Tom in third. Bicyc, what an effort from him. He was there all the way. He's 4th. Valo 5th. The consistent runner. Armour King. Mr. Reliable in 6th. Alex F1 7th. Creations 8th. Matthew 9th. Kevin Annihilator ending the top 10 there. So, bit of a mixed up grid. Bit of, I guess, some of the quick guys are at the front, but there's some further back. And, you know, the shock there. Probably Bicyc mixing it up with the Tier 1 guys. Hello. As we look further down, obviously Smiggy was 11th, Hurricane 12th. All making mistakes there. Norton in the 2 minutes and 13th. And then 2 DSQs, and Titan and Will. 15 runners altogether. Only 13 completed a lap here. So, Mercedes in the hot seat here. Prime position. I wonder if that will make him think about strategies or what to do even in the sprint race. 10 laps of that. See, I've already mentioned it. We did a sprint format race here before. I think it was a season or 2 seasons ago. And someone caused carnage very early on in the sprint race and was heavily punished straight away. Obviously, we don't do the punishments now straight after the race, but it can really mix things up here, especially that first corner. A bit of a hard braking zone. It's well, not a tight left-hander, but it's almost a U-turn, isn't it? And they've got to pick that line really well. Don't squeeze each other out, but make sure that they can get round in one piece. It'd be interesting to see if anyone attempts the softs, you know, in the sprint. I think most will try the mediums. Just make sure they can make it to the end of 10 laps. Yeah, so the guys doing strategies. Not that there's much strategy, but they might take out fuel. They might change a tyre up, or they might be just discussing with their teammates exactly how to play this. Mercedes drivers possibly in communication. So you see it's counting down, and it will be go time anytime soon. There is a formation lap. Couldn't think what it was called. Not a safety car, not yet anyway. So we've gone back to safety cars being on immersive. Apparently they've patched that, so I think that all issues are solved there. I'm going to bring up everything I need. Let's look at the tyres. Everyone is on mediums. No risks taken there. Yeah, how are teams and drivers going to approach this? See, said about the Mercs, maybe Tundra being a rear gunner for positive, just protecting any threat kind of could come from the cars behind. Maybe the Ferraris, look at them, 7 and 9, being quite aggressive. McLaren's too. And then, let's see, who else has got 2 representatives? It's very weird sort of camera angle there. Aston Martins have 2 drivers, one in 5th and one in 12th, so probably different approaches from them. Allo trying to just keep things consistent as he always does, and just make sure he can bring the car home somewhere in that top 5, top 6, whereas Hurricane might go for a few moves it. And then probably a similar thing to the Williams. Tom doing his best to stay in that top 3, possibly push Tundra. Pressure on those Mercs. Whereas Kevin will be hoping his consistency will get him further up the order. 3 tier 2 drivers at the back, so nothing to lose from their point of view. Maybe they'll be a bit aggressive. Obviously, one to look out for as well is Bicyc. How is he going to approach this? Tundra's had a nightmare positioning his car back on the starting spot. And in fact, it's not going to change the camera angle for me. He might be so far back that Tom's within a whisker of his rear end. Just wait for the wheel to park up. Managed to do that okay. So we'll have the 5 lights. Ready, steady, and go. And we are off in America. And the Mercs look to have held their position. No, they haven't. Because here come Tom and Bicyc. Oh, that's the other Mercedes in the wall. What's happened there? He got a nightmare start. Positives have been pushed wide. It's Bicyc leading the way, the tier 2 driver. Lawton's already got a 3-second penalty. Oh, what a nightmare start for the Mercedes duo. Hampered by his grid spot. And he was swallowed up, wasn't he? By 3rd and 4th place, Bicyc and Tom. Positive's got some work to do. Armour King, Kevin Annihilator has made a cracking start. Up into 5th. And let's have a look at those position changes. Everyone really making ground apart from Positive and Alex F1, and Fallow, the big loser, 9, dropping 90 car because of that crash. And well, as I said before, this had chaos before, and maybe it's just something about this track. The drivers, they're just a bit, I don't know, too keen. And obviously, Tundra's paid the price massively there. Fallow too. Fallow without a front wing there. But I wonder if Tundra's poor start meant Fallow gobbled him up too. Collided with the back of him. Fallow lost his front wing because of it, and Tundra went into the wall. Wouldn't be surprised if the stewards would have a look at that. I'm not blaming anyone. yeah, first, what, fifth of the sprint race will be raced at half throttle because of safety car conditions. Fallow obviously in the pits. Get that from Wink changed. Norton, no, just a poor getaway, but he's fully fit. So, nightmare start for some of the leading contenders. So I think the safety car will probably go in if Fallow can catch a pack up. Norton obviously the only one with a penalty. I don't know how he managed to get that early doors. He must have like slid across corners in sector 1 or something. He got it within like the first 15 seconds or something. They're making their way down this long straight. Plenty of overtaking opportunities down this part of the track, especially when this is enabled. You've also got ERS at your disposal. Perfect opportunities. Say if anyone wants to give me a shout on the stream, please do. I'll do my best to keep an eye out, but if this race continues throwing up incidents like that, I might not even have time to look at the laptop. No news about it coming in at the minute, safety car, but last week it was in and out quicker than you could say abracadabra. But it appears that this time the safety car will stay out, so 3 out of the 10 laps will be at minimal pace almost. So how is this going to change people's approach? I don't think Positive would have liked to have been forced out there. So I wonder if he'll aggressor, if you'd like, and try and get those places back. Fallow, I wonder how, I don't know, wound up he was at that incident as well. He knows he's better than 14th place, and you know, as we see a car go across Titan, is that? Across some of the corners in sector 1. Interesting. Maybe he was letting a car through. But, sorry, as I was saying, Fallow, maybe he'll be looking to put the foot down, put his car in places where overtakes can happen. No one else really coming out as a winner apart from Alex F1. He's only lost 1 place there. So I expect the attitude of the drivers to be primarily the same, bar a few. I'm surprised actually. Someone might have tried the softs. But no, we all go on. See, I think it was Smiggy Imola earlier on this year, or this season, who put the softs on after an early safety car, and he made them work. And I think he ended up going up like 10 places in all, and to secure a really good result. The safety car is in this lap. Bicyc just holding up the pack as we've began sector 3, warming up the tyres. All about, can you generate the right amount of heat in there to make sure they're fully working when he pulls the trigger. So here we see him weaving, just generating heat. And I thought he'd gone. He's not gone yet. Is he going to go around this corner? Not quite. And now he's gone, I think. Yes. Built up a 6/10 gap to Tom. It's quite a nice start from Bicyc. Tom
looking to close that gap. And Positive not far behind as well. Then comes Armour King, 8/10 back from him. Kevin 5th. Meanwhile, further back, Smiggy's had a nightmare of a restart. Not sure what's happened there. He's ended up to the back to Aston Martin's 11th and 12th now. See them come round sector 1. It's a nice angle there of a camera shot. No overtakes there. And they'll come down towards the hairpin before the long straight. No DRS just yet, as we've had a safety car. So it's all on ERS deployment and slipstream to make up that time to your rivals. Fallow and Hurricane switch positions. Don't know if that was tactical or not. Quite possibly between the Aston Martins. Who's this here? Norton and Smiggy. Norton's gone in very deep there. But jump back to the start. To the front. It's Tom managed to decrease that gap to 4/10 now. Tom getting in the zone, you feel. And his consistent approach could be, I think, gets him back here. There's a yellow flag. And it's Norton. Maybe he's picked up damage. We saw him go very deep just a few corners ago. Other overtakes down that pit straight. Matthew in 5th now. His horrors in qualifying long forgotten about. As Armour King has had a mistake. Oh, in sector 1. I know he's one who really enjoys this track, but he'll be hoping that's his only mistake of the night, as that's made him fall to 13th. He's sitting nicely in 4th. Oh, and is that coming together between Tom and Bicyc? It's allowed Positive right up on the Williams driver. Can he get an overtake in though? No, I think he's just sitting there. Positive, probably waiting for that DRS to be enabled first. Who else is close together? You've got Alex F1, only 8/10 back from Kevin, and Titan just behind him. Two Aston Martins still close together, but the closest battles are for 1st, 2nd and 3rd here. Positive's probably the one sniffing the next overtake. This, of course, is allowing Bicyc to have a bit of a breather. Come round that final corner. DRS will be enabled. So not here. Obviously, come the long straight. Expect some more overtakes. We're already 6 laps in. There's a yellow flag. It's Norton again at the back. Struggling. Sector 1. This is where you can really apply pressure to the car in front by getting close to them. And easily pick up a corner cutting penalty there. Everyone's still doing well. We see Positive close up on Tom. Tell you what, Matthew isn't far away either. So round the hairpin they go. We'll stay on board with Tom. He'll be the first to get DRS. 4/10 back from Bicyc. It's a terrible camera angle, by the way. So we'll jump on board with Positive, who also has DRS, as does Matthew. Tom. Oh, he's tried to go up the inside of Bicyc. Oh, it's clean enough. Bicyc holds. Good racing between the two of them. Alex F1. Oh, it's a mix up in midfield. Now that DRS is enabled, look at this train of cars. Oh, who's this? Thallow coming through. Just forcing Will out. That's a nice overtake from him. And Thallow's going to go there. Oh, he's gone past 2 Tier 2 drivers in a few corners. A bash on the side as well, for good measure. Great move from Thallow. Oh, but is that him round? It is. Oh, can you believe it? I wonder if he had side pod damage from that bash with Titan. Titan picks up 3-second penalty. Anyway, but that'll be little consolation for the Aston Martin driver. We jump to the front again. Bicyc, Tom, Positive, Matthew. Separated probably by just under 2 seconds. Titans penalty is really going to cost him as well as it stands. Really, they shouldn't look to make too much of an overtake on him. So he'll be falling right down the order. But here we go. Round 2 of the fight for the lead. Who do I stay on here? We'll stay on board with Tom because he is right up the back of Bicyc. Bicyc can't do too much. He's probably used his ERS the last lap. So it's Tom who takes the lead. Up the inside. And through he goes. The Williams driver leading the sprint race now. Bicyc trying to respond. He's held second though. His positive is just isn't close enough. Matthew with that new Ferrari livery, by the way. Like that. In fourth. And then Creations is now the one sneaking up. Who's oh, Norton's had another nightmare. Seems to be having these nightmares in Tier 1 recently. We'll see Tom go through into the lead to start lap 8. Doesn't have the DRS assistance, but the cars behind him do. Tom holds that pretty comfortably. Chance for Bicyc will come down along straight in sector 2. Wonder if Positive can get onto the back of Bicyc here now. Oof. It's a nice legal cut of one of the corners in sector 1 there from Positive. Still sniffing around as well. Or was Positive going to do it before? He's at the hairpin. That's a lovely overtake. There's a yellow flag. And who's collided here? It's Armour King and Hurricane, I think. Or is it just Armour King on his own? Hurricane's going to come through now. I'm going to quickly jump back to the front. We've got Matthew and Positive. They've gone past Bicyc. So they're through. We're back to a Tier 1, 1, 2 and 3 now. Bicyc just an unlucky bystander. He's only 2 tenths back now, so he'll be hoping to come back. Titan as well. It's only 3 tenths behind his Tier 2 compatriot. He'll go round the long right-hander. Sorry, I'm going to stay on board with this one for now. There's a yellow flag as well. Who's that round? Is that Kevin? Kevin Annihilator. He's had a problem. So he's dropped to 11th. Titan can't overtake Will down pit straight. Which means I'm jumping forward. As the race for the win in the sprint race is really on. Bicyc now dropping to 5th. Creations has done him. Bicyc picks up the penalty. Oh, it's just falling apart for him in the last few laps. I mean, he's doing a really good job, and he's against some really quick guys here, but obviously that penalty is just hurting him even more. So here we go. Really on Positive's back early doors down this straight. Oof. He is going to go for it. Oh, side by side. No contact, I don't think, though. Clean from the 2 of them. And again, this is just helping Tom. He's just pulled up an 8/10 gap. Look at that's increasing. Creations as well. Waiting in the wings for a mistake. Armour King overtakes Hurricane. Some of the cars getting really strung out now. Not quite DRS in that DRS window. Hurricane just behind Armour King. Wonder if there'll be an overtake opportunity there. Who's had a mistake here? It's Will. Alex F1 has been punished for it with a 5-second penalty. And who's that round as well? Fallow. Oh, it's the 2nd time he's wingless. Oh, I'd like to see what happened there. Chaos in the midfield. Smiggy's up to 7th, Titan up to 6th. I know they've got penalties, but yeah, the midfield really shaking up there. It's the last lap as well. It's the last point you really want to make a mistake or pick up a penalty. Here we go, one last go down the long straight in the sprint race. It's Tom leading by 4.5 tenths. Positive second, Matthew third, Creation's also there. Is there any overtakes there? I don't think so. Creation's sniffing around Matthew's back end though. Positive doing everything he can to apply the pressure on Tom. Walking through nicely into that final sector, into the final bend now. So it will be Tom who finishes the sprint in first, Positive second, Matthew third, Creations fourth, Bicyc in fifth on track and will retain it even though he's got the penalty. Good racing from him, fair play. Titan will cross the line in sixth, but it'll be Smiggy in sixth because of penalties. Annihilator crosses in eighth. Alex Efron will be ninth, but will drop. You can see positions to Will and Fallow. Hurricane will be 12th. Armour King 13th. And then Norton will be the last to finish 14th. We'll wait for Norton just to come around that final corner. There we go. So, an already eventful sprint race, and that was only 10 laps old. So, if that's anything to go by, the main feature could be chaos. I mean, we've ended up with 4 of the usual protagonists up in that in the top 4 there. Let's flip to that screen and see that. Bicyc putting in really good effort though in 5th. Smiggy got caught up in a few bits. He'll be happy taking home a 6th place. Titan 7th, good effort from him. Kevin Annihilator obviously had an incident. He would have been further up otherwise. Another tier 2 driver, Will 9th. Fallow caught up in 2 major incidents 10th. And Alex, Hurricane, Armour King, Norton and then Tundra DNFing off the start. Probably for a collision with Fallow, but we'll see in the steward's room. So that's how the sprint race finished and how they will line up for the main race. So, in truth, I don't know what kind of strategy is possible around USA. So I'll be relying on the graphic that comes up for that. But I think in previous games, a lot of people have enjoyed doing a one-stop round here. All about tyre preservation, making sure that those mediums can go as long as they can to make it work. Obviously, safety cars are a possibility. We've seen it in the sprint race. We've seen, I don't know, the aggression of some of the drivers, the moves that are on, the walls that are potentially in, hitting distance, if you like. So, quite a few things to factor in. I wonder if the drivers in that case will underfuel their cars. And I wonder how many front wings Aston Martin have brought, seeing as they've used 2 on Fallow already. But, aside from those usual pointers, this could be a bog standard race. No. The
The weather looks fine as well, so no threat of rain that I will say for now. I really hope I've just given them the kiss of death for that. But it's looking pretty plain sailing in terms of strategy until that first major collision, I guess. The crowd are going mental for some reason. They're all in the pits, lads. And just seeing if there's anything being said in the Discord. Doesn't appear so. There is already one incident reported, and I'm not surprised. Right, so let's have a look what tyres everyone is on. No, we don't want that. We want tyres, and there you go. No soft runners, which is what the tier 2 drivers usually do, because they usually can guarantee, oh no, an incident. There's an incident on the formation lap between Kevin Annihilator and Will, two of the tier 2 drivers, on the hard compound as well, so their tyres are going to be very cold on the start. They could, well, probably it's worth keeping an eye on them, because they could cause some chaos early doors if they don't get the tyres quickly up to temperature, meaning performance will be down. So Matthew out of the front runners, I mean Bicyc as well, but I'm going to only sort of look at the tier 1 sort of guys here, as it's a tier 1 race and we're talking about a tier 1 championship. Matthew the only one to go hards out of everyone. Obviously Armour as well down in 13th, but of those near the front, Matthew is going with the hard medium strategy, and it would be everyone else trying to flip reverse it, and go with the medium hard. Can Matthew get those tyres warmed up and working early doors? As we see, Bicyc has just done a nice 360. Love to see it. So yeah, I wonder if Matthew can hold off the likes of Creations, who look quick, as we said in the sprint race, and whether he can stay out of trouble, because see, any early contact for Matthew could really hamper his race. And I wonder what everyone's thinking will be if there's an early safety car as well. How long do those hards last for? But we'll cross that bridge as and when we come to it. So, might be worth keeping an eye on those in 8th and 9th, Kevin and Will. I'll quickly take this moment to have a water. The lights go, and we are off in the US Grand Prix. And what's happened at the front is pretty much as you were, Matthew though, and Creations. Here comes Creations up the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Bicyc. Oh, is that Smiggy? We'll bring back this this part of the menu, so I know it's Creations actually leading then. I did say he looked lightning in the sprint race, and he's taken the form that he had in Azerbaijan and brought it to North America. Oh, and Matthews, and Positive had a spin there in the background. I wonder if Matthew hit him, because we saw Matthew just lose a few places too. Could the two title contenders just have made contact? Oh, Positive's going to be fuming with that. He's just going to have to get his head down and focus though. Can't let it get to him. There's another 27 laps to go. It's Matthew goes up one and overtakes Thallow.
Those hard tyres look like they're a bit of a nightmare for Matthew as it stands, but it's Creations leading the way to Tom. Smiggy in the sister McLaren in third. McLaren's having a field day at the start of this race. And Bicek again, continuing to do well. He's actually the first of the hard runners. Matthew fifth. Titan sneaking up into sixth there. Fallow is ghosting. I'm not sure why. Maybe he's disconnected somehow. But he's just hemorrhaging places. As Matthew gets past Bicek, Fallow has joined. But he'll be rejoining and seeing that his car is not as far forward as it was at the start. Armour King and Hurricane continuing their battle. Norton overtaking the ghost of Fallow now. Hurricane getting past Armour King. As I ride on board with Miggy, who's chasing down those top two. No DRS in the first 2 laps. So I think it's all about just staying in that 1 second window of the car in front. Something that Norton and Bicek on, and Matthew, they'll be deploying ERS to make sure they are. We have Annihilator. He's looking for a way past Fallow. Fallow back in the game now. So the Williams driver stays in the Aston Martin sandwich. There's a yellow flag. It's Bicek. He's spun off. Oh, what's happened there? Another of the hard runners, though, finding it difficult, I think. So maybe the tier 2 sort of runners who are watching this stream really pay that. Think about that. Racing sets a new fastest lap. And we start lap 3. DRS enabled. There's a someone's round. Norton's round. And Tundra's also had a mistake, I think. Oh my goodness. I can't keep up with the amount of incidents. Why can't everyone be like Creations? Oh, I joke. And I'm not trying to jinx him either. But we continue on. So the leaders are actually getting strung out. And the only one keeping in that second window looks to be Smiggy, and he's only just managed to do that. So will he be the only one with DRS as we enter the long straight now? Let's have a look. There goes Creations, there goes Will. There is Smiggy and his rear wing. Open like an envelope. I say an envelope, a letterbox. He's just closed the gap slightly on Tom. Norton Tundra fighting their way down the start of that straight. Fallow getting past Alex F1. Nice move into the left-hander. And further back, look at the amount of cars here in a train. Positive trying to fight his way back through, as is Bicek. Kevin Annihilator losing 2 places. Now, Positive has to get past the ever-reliable Armour King. On different compounds. Who's that? Hurricane is round. Saw that as they flashed past. All these drivers making errors here. Maybe this race is all about consistency. And the 3 most consistent drivers are 1, 2 and 3 right now. No safety car just yet. Positive does manage to get past Armour King. He'll chase down Alex F1 now. Will is chasing his tier 2 compatriot Titan. Those two still doing well in 5th and 6th. Further back, Norton and Tundra are holding each other's hands. I think I just saw Norton cut a corner possibly, I don't know. They're right next to one another. Smiggy, the only one again with DRS. Just building a gap to Matthew. Matthew's just trying to keep touch with the leaders. Tom closing the gap through his slipstream and ERS deployment to Creations. Will and Titan still 5th and 6th. It's further back. Here come
the Tier 1 drivers trying to recover their races. And there's a yellow flag again. It's Tundra. And is it collided with Norton? I'm not sure. Those two having a bit of a ding-dong. Tundra having a bit of a nightmare of an American Grand Prix. Maybe hoping for a safety car. As Hurricane is also having a bit of a nightmare. And he's spinning like a hurricane. He's just lost a place. And is now down in 14th. I wonder if those tyres are any good. Jump to the midfield. I'm going to jump to Alex F1, who's within a second of Fallow, and Positive is just behind him too. So this is the battle I'm going to watch. I'm going to keep an eye on the left-hand side of the screen as well. Try and bring you as much action as I can. This is difficult with one person, but I'll do my best. Come down to the DRS detection zone. Norton, Tundra making up 2 places. He's up in 13th. Who's made the error? It's Hurricane in sector 1. Meanwhile, he's still on board with Alex F1. Trying to get in the slipstream. Further back, Bicycle and Armour King are battling out. Armour's going to hold the inside line. Bicycle's gone round the outside. It's a lovely move from the Alfa Romeo driver. As you were in 7th, 8th and 9th. There was no changes at the front neither. Although Smiggy has closed the gap on Tom. These two were right next to one another, I think, during some of the Spanish Grand Prix last week. And they're resuming their battle once again. Tundra, though, has lost the car in sector 3. Round the tight part. And there's a safety car because of it. So there you go. There's Tundra's car we just saw when we were on board with Hurricane. Oh, can you believe it? No luck for the Mercedes driver once again. So is anyone going to take the opportunity to pit? Norton does take the opportunity to pit. You can see the position. Oh, had a nightmare. He's got a 3-second time penalty under the safety car. Not even racing. Norton puts on his hard tyres. I expect Hurricane will do the same. So, I wonder if the other medium runners will be thinking that. McLarens, they'll have to double stack, and I wonder if they'll split the strategies here, or whether they'll take the gamble of double stacking. They're probably in the same party, it must be said. These two get on quite well. Tom as well, if he'll throw a curveball, do what's not expected, just do something different. Let's have a look though. Creations is in. Tom is in. Smiggy carries on. There you go. Split strategies from the McLarens. Matthew staying out as well. You'd expect Matthew to, since he's on the hard tyre. Titan staying out. So he's jumped into 3rd. Will has stayed out on the hards. He's 4th. Bicycle staying out. He's 5th. Armour King, Kevin all staying out too. So Creations, the leader, or the previous leader, now in 8th. But Fresh Hards doesn't need to pit again. Tom behind him, Fallow 10th, Alex F1 Positive, Norton and Hurricane. So only 2 of the field on mediums now. What's that going to do for strategies, for the way people are thinking?
watching the cars enter sector 3 now. I'm going to take this moment to have a drink. So this is the problem starting on hards. The fact that you're probably not likely to able to run the mediums from here. So the early safety car does scupper your plans a bit. For everyone else, not perfect timing, but you can accommodate it. As, you know, 6, 7 of the runners. F1 and Fallow were... Oh, Fallow's gone off here. There's no temperature in his tyres, and it means that he's gone down into 12th. Great news. Positive. Oh, I think they're going to let him back through. Fair play, lads. Great sportsmanship. Didn't actually see why Fallow lost those positions. Anyway, jump further forward. Penalty for Bicycle, the only one on the grid at the minute. 3 seconds for him. Morton picking up a penalty behind the safety car. Oh, surely that's like unforgivable. See, the winners and losers so far in the race as well. Positive down 10, Tom down 8, but he's pitted. Armour King up 7, Smiggy up 5, Will up 5, Titan up 4, but they need to pit. So, data available to me, not telling the whole picture. Morton and Positive are scrapping. It's just a brief switch of position. Safety car in this lap. So, said it before, generate the heat in the tyres because the restart will be crucial. And on those hards, that's a more difficult thing to do. Probably easier for the scrub set of hards, so the guys on 7-lap old hards. The medium runners will be laughing if they can make their mediums work early on. So it's Smiggy controlling the restart. I'm going to stay on board with Matthew. I think Smiggy's gone. No, he hasn't. But he has now. And we're off. And Bicycle and Will battling straight off the rip. And Bicycle will be up the inside of Titan. It's a nice move from him. Further back, Creations has overtaken Kevin Annihilator. Looks like Creations is holding all the cards here as it stands. Smiggy still leads the way. Matthew then Bicycle. Titan, Will, Armour and Creations. Annihilator and Tom. I don't know if there'll be a switch of positions there for the Williams group. I wonder if Will's let Armour go. Oh! And it does. Oh no! It was a bit of carbon fibre. I think Creations went in the back of Will. I don't know if Will was letting his teammate through. But that's meant Creations has been caught up in that. And he's missing an end plate. Oh, what a nightmare. So chaos further back. Fallow's going to be up the inside of Creations. Tom's sniffing around. Alex F1, Positive, and Kevin Annihilator. Creations still tussling with Fallow. Fallow surely going to have the big advantage here, especially down the right-hander. Yellow flag. That's Norton. He's spun it. Oh, separation held all the cars, not anymore. I think Fallow now is in prime position. 10 laps in, or nine and a bit laps in, as a yellow flag. Alex F1, even caught up in trouble. Creations just hemorrhaging places here. Oh, Tom didn't take the best of lines round there. Positive on Creations' tail. And Positive's going to go for it at the hairpin. I don't think Creations really battled that too hard. Who's going to have the DRS? None of them are. But because there's a safety car. Because this round. And you know, we've got incidents again. Stewards might be in for a busy night. Creation speeding on the safety car as a drive through. What a nightmare few laps for him. Oh. What's going to happen at the front? Smiggy will be in. Matthew will be in. Bicycle will be in. Titan will be in. All the leaders now pitting. Armour King. Will carries on. It's a brave call from Will. Fallow on his back. He's only got 4-lap old hards. Positive. Up into third now. His race getting put back together all over again like Humpty Dumpty. It's Smiggy who will lead all the guys who have pitted. He's back out in fourth. And so Creation's throwing the curveball. He's got a drive through, putting on softs. Tom putting on softs. Armour King putting on mediums. So now we've got an array of tyres. And we've also got an array of how old they are. With Will having the oldest ones on. So I wonder if Will be hoping for another safety car, or expecting one. By the way, we've reached 8:05, and we're only into the 11th lap. Go on, lads. Let's have a look at those penalties. There you go. 3 for Bicyc, 3 seconds on Orton, and that drive through for Creations. Safety car will go round one more lap. Fallow gets 5 seconds for colliding with Positive, I think I read. Oh, can you believe it? So Fallow's now found himself down into 9th. Alex F1's in the pits. Tom's in the pits. Tom's put back on his hards, as has Alex F1. I think I read that Fallow's got floor damage as well, just so you know. There's a lot going on here. just seeing if there's any other update that I can see in the Discord. Safety car in this lap. Kevin I let by Tom there. I think Tom's got damage, you know. No, they've just let each other back through. So what's Will going to do here? He's so Will has had he's led safety cars before in Tier 2 and he's absolutely mucked them up before. So interesting to see how he copes under the pressure of some Tier 1 drivers on his back. This is very slow. Drive through corners. I think he's gone. Positive right on Will's back, half a second back, and Smiggy another half second. And then Matthew. There's a yellow flag. Who's that? That's Norton round. No surprises there. Matthew gets past Smiggy. On those fresh mediums. He's the one now looking to make a move with the quick tyre. Right, they picks up 3 seconds. In the meantime, 7/10 now separate Will and Positive. Positive, maybe just not getting the heat in those tyres and getting them fired up properly yet. Matthew though is right on his tail. Oh, man's gonna be horror. Camera angles. We saw Norton round. Here we go. This is a nice camera angle. And here comes Positive, and he's through on Will. Is Matthew going to follow him? I think that will be a yes. Yes. So the two title contenders back up to P1 and P2. These two, actually, I remember battling it out well in a 5-lap race that we did a few months back in the USA. So they'll be going at it once again. It's Will in third. Smiggy will open to clear him soon. It's Bicycle on his back. Who's that? That's Tom round. Will's brother. What's happened there? He's in right trouble. It's down into 13. You see Matthew overtake Positive. And into the lead. Those fresh medium tyres doing the job. Bicycle's overtaking Will. And Creations hasn't served his drive-through yet. Make an impression and make some places up. Creation picks up a 3-second penalty for good measure. Look, rather interesting line as it went almost too wide through sector 1. And now Matthew almost a second clear, but not quite. With Positive. Positive will just be hoping. Those medium tyres don't really make it. Creations through into 6th. Still needs to serve his drive through. Look, Will's staying out yet. We see further back. Hurricane trying to look for a way past, can't do it. Titan stays behind him, and Fallow behind him with the broken floor. No, Fallow through. Oh, who was that? Armour King trying his luck. Norton picks up another penalty. And the closest on-track battle is now in 10th. Armour King and Kevin Annihilator, two good mates. He puts in a slap there, 136.5. No one can live with that right now. Grayson's serving his drive through. Many change at the front. Who's that? The two Aston Martins side by side. I was through on Hurricane. Titan looking to see if there's anything to take advantage of, though. Ooh, just got that line a little bit wrong. That's let Armour King in. This could be a good battle to watch as they work their way down. Who's that? Who's gone off? It's Will. As I said, just a few laps ago. Is he regretting staying out? He will be now. Armour King through on Titan. He went wide on exit. Have an Annihilator. Through on Titan too. Alex F1 will be chasing onto the back of the AlphaTauri now. Surely will be looking to pit sometime soon now. He's lost out. He's down in 11th after he was leading at the safety car restart. But it's Matthew leading now, 1.9 second ahead. The title rival positive on two different tyres, those two. So Matthew on the quicker compound. Isaac too far back from Smiggy. Bit of straight line speed there, pulling away from him. Will comes in for his pit stop. He'll be putting on mediums to the end. And Titan now chasing Kevin, who in turn, Titan cutting that one as well. Yes, I saw that. Kevin in turn chasing Armour King, who is chasing Hurricane. So 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th separated by not too much. Just going to jump onto Armour versus Hurricane. Yellow flag. It's Norton again. No surprise there. Terrible camera angle. No surprise there. DRS that Hurricane got just helped him defend against Armour King, but Armour King's going round. Hurricane got out a little bit squirrely, and it meant Armour King's through and is now in an Aston Martin sandwich. Kevin the next try is lucky against Hurricane. Hurricane's not really worked for him this season, has it? Maybe the transfer to a new game just isn't the same. But he's gonna stick around the back of Armour King as they'll come through into the home straight. Armour won't have DRS, but Hurricane will, as will Kevin. Yellow flag, it's Norton. And changes in the order there. Sticking with Smiggy, good effort from him. He was on a quicker tyre though. Now how long they will last. Something must be said about Matthew. To be fair, there's not that much left. Isaac though, 3-second time penalty. So, despite him showing that he's 5.6 clear of Fallow, he could be swallowed up. Although Fallow has a penalty himself. Here we go, let's watch this battle again. Hurricane, Will picks up 3 seconds. Hurricane chasing Armour King. Kevin Annihilator, Titan on his back. Hello, Armour King's through. Hurricane's through. Take the inside line. Armour King going to try and leave it round the. Oh, that's really nice driving from the Welsh Wizard. Armour King maintaining his 6th place. Norton is round once again. This is the most exciting part of the race, by the way. And there's Norton on the left-hand side. Oh, he's actually DNF'd. Oh, and hello, Titan Police against Titan Police. Ha! RTM Titan on Kevin Annihilator. make it stick, I think, despite being on the hard compound. Hello, Kevin. There you go. The traction of the medium tyre getting him through there. But Titan's going to stick around. Not stick around long enough to make a place. So 10 and a bit laps to go. 13 runners remaining. Question is, will there be another safety car? See Titan again close to Kevin Annihilator. Smiggy and Bicycle battling in sector 3. Ooh, these are side by side. Bicycle's going to make the move count, is he? Those mediums just doing the job there. The Alfa Romeo driver is through. Out of the back. Oh, Norton's left the session. Yeah, he just DNF'd, didn't he? But we've got the battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th still continuing. Moore's trying to keep an eye on the battle for 3rd and 4th. As we enter sector 1 again. Up here in the closing 10 laps. In fact, let's bring that graphic up quickly. So there you have it. Bicycle been losing the 1 place. Wheel picks up another 3 seconds. So 6 seconds for him now. Creations 3 seconds for him. Kevin Annihilator 3 seconds, which is really hampering him too, because everyone else behind him is in close proximity. And he overtakes this time around. Ooh, everyone was looking not quite. And obviously Creations, who's looked really quick. Alex F1 though. Oh, something's happened there. Creations is round. Oh, I thought Creations made the move, but maybe he just got on the throttle too much on the exit. So the Ferrari and the McLaren having problems there. Smiggy's still chasing that 3rd position back off Bicycle. Bicycle obviously with 6 seconds of penalties, so he isn't P3 as it stands. Titan and Kevin, this battle has been going on for ages. And Will and Creations on for another set of softs. Put tyre graphic back on. When do those mediums fall off the cliff? That is the answer. There's another 8 and a bit laps to go. Hurricane losing out there. He is losing out because that's Titan and Tom through as well. Oh, I don't know if he just made an error in sector 1 there at one of the exits, just hampered him all the way down to the hairpin. Who's going to make a move here? Who's this? It's Tom on Titan. Titan going to try and go around the outside. I don't think he'll have it. I think Tom's through. He is. Hurricane stuck behind Titan. But the Williams now 7 and 8. Recovery drive from the 2 of them. King in a bit of a race of his own. As is Thallow. Further forward, Smiggy and Bicycle are continuing their fight. Let me stick with these. He moves down the pit straight, I don't think. if any team orders will happen at Williams. Although Kevin is on the faster tyre. He finds himself holding Tom up. I'm sure he'll allow the switch to take place. And the back three are also in races on their own. But Tom obviously winner in the sprint race, but things have just fallen apart from here. But recovered into 8th so far and has no penalties too, which could be a crucial thing at the end of the race. Tom breezing past his teammates as DRS assistants. Teammate keeps 8th position because of his defence against Titan there. Hurricane can't find a way past Titan either. And Titan have resumed their battle. Smiggy, I can also see, is very close to Bicyc this time around. Ooh, so close he almost got it wrong. I'll actually stay on board with this fight. Just take a break from the other one. Negotiating those corners nicely. Really got to feather the throttle at times and lift off and coast, and a combination of things to make sure you get sector 1 just right. So he'll race down to the hairpin now, end of sector 1. Grayson puts in the fastest lap as he's on the soft tyre. Titan gets 3 seconds, there you go. The pressure of sticking with Kevin Eilater, obviously getting to him. We watch Smiggy close the gap with Bicyc, but not enough. Let's jump onto the fight for P8. What are these camera angles? No change in the order there. So yeah, I wonder if Kevin's tyres will last the distance. That's what Titan will be looking at. Tom kind of let go by his teammate now. Tom can look at closing that gap to Armour as quick as possible, although Armour is on those medium tyres. Oh, and Smiggy has managed to get past Bicyc at turn 1. Is that medium tyre starting to feel the pain? Bicyc another 3 seconds trying to stick with the McLaren. Oh, that's the last thing he needed as well. He's got a bit of a gap to 4th and 5th, but 6th. Those penalties can rack up and he's still got 5.5 laps to go. Is there a response from Bicyc as they go down the DRS straight? DRS rear wing open. No, can't get anywhere near Smiggy for a move there. What about Titan on Kevin Eilater? These two. And dinging and donging. Gracious picks up 3 seconds. Hello. Oh, he's gone for the switchback. Oh, there was a collision. I think he's all right. They're not on sim damage, so I think he'll be fine. But I think he just clipped his front wing on the back of Kevin's car. No damage there. Bicyc hitting. Oh, this is interesting. Did he pick up damage in the pass from Smiggy? Or have those medium tyres really had it? Soft tyres go on. Yellow flag. Who's that? Creations. Creations has gone. Safety car. Well, well, well. Now is your time for soft tyres. Bicyc's done it straight away. Well, no, Bicyc was already in the pits, wasn't he? And he's come out in between the two Williams drivers. Alex F1 and Will both in the pits. And what we thought, or what I thought, there's no one else here with me, was a bit of a dead race, could now liven up in the final few laps. I don't think this is what Matthew wanted. Positive would probably take this. There's another chance to really put their heat on the Ferrari. Those with penalties are really cursing, because they now need to rebuild their gaps. Bicyc really going to be hurt by that. Let's have a look at the penalty count. There you go, 9 seconds he's going to lose to the cars behind him. Fallow, I think his 5 seconds came behind the safety car, didn't he? So, I just wonder if he's managed to clip that as we watch him go round. Oh no! He's fortunate not to have lost the place there. Just saying, I wonder if he can get that back. Well, obviously, the guys are in. Hang on. That was weird. Matthew is out in the lead, it must be said, but that could have been very different had my game not synced up and caught up there. Smiggy in for softs. Fallow in serving his 5-second penalty. That's, I guess, really hampered him too. Doesn't mean he doesn't have to serve that though. Fallow's out in 5th. Armour's 6th. Everyone on fresh softs. Tom 7th. Titan 8th. Kevin 9th. Hurricane 10th. Alex and Will the final 2. Those penalties then. How many positions is Bicyc going to lose by the time checkered flag is waved? That is a big question. Well, chaos there? Sure. Maybe Alex just overtook her illegally. I'm going to take this moment again to get another drink. Where are we at? 8:30. So this is possibly the longest race that we've had this season across both tiers. Thanks everyone, doing this on my own. Ugh. But hopefully it delivers in the final few laps. Hey, first comment on the stream, and it's from Tier 2, well, leader? I think he's still the leader. Pepski. It's just put, wow, late drama. Fallow's so excited he's given us a 12. Maybe he was just channeling his inner Max Verstappen and will end up winning this. So the safety car will go around one more time with the cars. So, you know what that means? That'll be lap 27 and 8. 27, 28 behind the safety car. Sorry. Sorry. Lap 26 behind the safety car. Lap 27 and 28 racing. 2-lap shootout. No DRS. That'll mean. So it's all on your ERS deployment. Can you utilise that to the maximum? Pretty much like a level playing field, isn't it? When you heat up your tyres. With those softs on, you should be able to. But this is crunch time now. Can't afford another penalty, can't afford any damage. It's literally coming down to this. And you'd argue, top three are three of the strongest racers. So, as expected, are up there. Bicyc doing a tremendous job, must be said. P4 on track. Fallow Mr. Consistent. P5. Could that be even for him? Rollicking there again. Tom just had a bit of trouble, hasn't he, in this race, but no, you wouldn't be surprised if he made a few positions up here. As we've got the signal that the safety car is in this lap. So, what's Matthew going to do at the restart? We've had 2 late goes, 1 early, and I think Matthew looked to have not pulled the trigger just yet. It's just a bit of a speed up. Still on board with him, unlike this drone cam. And Positive is really on his tail. Oh, he's broke now. Oh, has that hampered him? I'm not sure. And we're off. Oh, Positive taking that last corner very, very well. Is this his opportunity? They're both surely deploying ERS. Positive's going to be up the inside. But Matthews round the outside. Stays first. Smiggy sniffing around Positive as well. Had to back out. Meanwhile, oh, Tom's had a problem. He's lost it in sector 1. I wonder how much ERS that's used of Positives. But they both would have been giving it beans up that pit straight on the restart. But they resume their battle. Down DRS straight with no DRS. 4 tenths separating them. 3.5. 3 tenths. 2.5. No late lunge from the Mercedes driver. It's Matthew holding position as it stands. Smiggy not too far behind. Bicyc there. Holding for now. Those penalties will cost him. Fallow 5th, Armour 6th. There's not much change since the restart. Alex F1 getting ahead of Hurricane there. Hurricane battling back though. And staying on board as we come round the final corner now of the lap, of the penultimate lap, to start the last lap. Here we go. Built up a bit of a lead there. 7 tenths. And that might be enough to just save him here. Smiggy 6 tenths back from Positive. F1 and Hurricane continue their battle. Fallow just behind Bicyc, doesn't need to overtake him on track. Matthews just built up a sensational lead to Positive. That's surely going to help protect his lead straight, as they will come up to it after this hairpin. Yellow flag, it's Tom again. Oh, he's had a rough day today, which is unfortunate, despite his sprint race win. The cameraman again is giving me a shocker. Matthews' 1 second lead looks like it will help him secure the victory again against title rival Positive. Smiggy looks like he will be third. Bicyc, how many positions will he fall? Quickly, let's look what's going on elsewhere. Titan looking on Armour, but no real overtaking spot there. We're looking on Hurricane. That happened. And what is going to happen is that Matthew's going to round the last corner to win in America with a fastest lap. Ferrari driver takes victory. Positive takes second. Smiggy third. And after penalties, it will be Fallow 4th. Armour King 5th. Alex F1 6th. Titan 7th. Hurricane 8th. Bicyc, there you go. Up 9th. Bill 10th. Kevin 11th. And Tom 12th. Williams drivers, the last two to finish. Marvin Day goes to Fallow. But you'd have to argue Matthew was pretty dominant sports his yellow overalls. He was pretty dominant, wasn't he? Taking home that victory after taking it from Positive. It really looked like losing it. Positive had his chance straight after the restart, but Matthew hung it around the outside, kept the position, and therefore took home the victory. And celebrating that with fellow podium placed Positive and Smiggy. So obviously that's not what you see on the screen, how the points will be because of the HTR point scoring system. So it will look a little bit different to that, but that's a genuine guide to it. There's the sprint race results as we saw earlier, and then in the main race, here we go. Matthew taking the fastest lap as well as victory. Positive, Smiggy, Fallow, Armour King, top 5. Alex, Titan, Hurricane, Bicycle, Will running off the top 10. Kevin and Tom. The only other two to finish, Creations, Norton and Tundra, DNFing. But that was the United States Grand Prix in Tier 1. Matthew takes victory once again. But join us tomorrow. It will be Alex F1 and Positive on comms for Tier 2. See how they get on. You saw some of them here tonight, didn't you? And some of them did really well, actually. But it's their turn tomorrow. See what happens there. That title fight between Kevin, Sam and Pepski really hotting up. So worth tuning into. And then failing that, next week, Tier 1 go again. 7 o'clock normal time. No sprint race this time, back to normal, but they're staying in North America because they're going to Canada. Canada thrown up some absolute special Grand Prix for us recently, well, in recent seasons, and it could do once again with the title on the line. But yeah, aside from that, I hope you can join us at some stage because, as I said, things are really reaching the pivotal moments of the season. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's been a long one, I know that, but I've tried my best to cover everything. It was a bit dull at times, but that ending really just hotted up the race. But I've been Desert 10. Thanks for joining me, and you'll see and hear from me next week. Hopefully I'll have Sam back in the comms box with me, and we'll go again back in Montreal. Stay safe. Thanks for joining me, and goodbye.